This video is going to cover surface areas of cylinders and cones. Again, it's an addition to chapter 11. It's not in your book. What's in your book is volume, so we're also going to cover surface areas of cylinders and cones. So first thing we're going to do is identify what the formulas for cylinders are. So the formula to find the lateral area of a cylinder is 2 pi r height, where r is the radius and h is the height. Now, if you think about it, it's sort of like a prism. And before, what we did was, when we talked about prisms and we did the lateral area, it was the perimeter times the height. Well, if you think about it, the perimeter of a circle is really the circumference. So this perimeter here is really like the circumference of a circle. So the pH would be 2 pi r times height. So this is your perimeter, but it's really circumference. Then for total area of a cylinder, it's, again, if you think about the prisms, 2 times the base area plus the lateral area. And again, our base area, or our base, when it's a cylinder, and let's draw a picture of one. Remember, a cylinder has 2 circles on the top and the bottom. And again, you would be given a radius, and then this would actually be the height. So for our formula, 2 times the base area, which is a circle, so pi r squared, times that lateral area, which is 2 pi r height. Next are the formulas for cones. So again, a cone, in relation to what we've already talked about, it's sort of like the pyramid. So a cone, sort of like a pyramid. So remember, the only difference now for the cone, the base is going to be a circle. So here, if you were to do the lateral area of a pyramid, remember that was 1/2 perimeter times slant height. So again, if we're thinking about a circle here, now if we show this in relation to the cone, 1/2 the perimeter of the cone, which is really a circle, is 2 pi r, and then times that slant height. Half of 2 is 1, and that's how we could turn it into the pi r L, which is what's listed here for the lateral area of a cone. Remember, your cone looks like this. You'll have a radius, and you're going to have a slant height. Now, you may also be given the actual height of the cone, and if that happens, what we have forming here is a right triangle. So if I pull this out, height, radius, slant height, the slant height is my hypotenuse. So if I have 2 of them, I could use Pythagorean theorem, r squared plus height squared equals slant height squared. And that would help me to find any of the missing pieces that I may need in my formulas. And again, for total area, it's pi r squared plus pi rl. So this is the area of the base plus the lateral area. And again, remember that L represents the slant height. So when we did the total area of your pyramid, so over here, that was lateral area, so total area of the pyramid, remember it was the area of the base plus the lateral area, so the area of the base, whatever shape it was, a square or a triangle, and then 1/2 perimeter times slant height. So if we show how this relates to the cone, the base area is a circle, and if we replace perimeter with circumference, and then simplify that, my total area for a cone is pi r squared plus pi rl. I'll try and do an example of both a cone and a cylinder. We'll do the cylinder first. So the capital B represents the area of the base. So the shape that is my base is a circle. So it's pi r squared. Notice they gave me the radius. It's 5. So pi times radius squared gives me 25 pi centimeters squared. Next is the lateral area, and the formula for lateral area is 2 pi r height. So 2 pi, radius is 5, height is 7. So 2 times 5 times 7, it doesn't matter the order you multiply. If I just go left to right, 2 times 5 is 10, times 7 is 70 pi centimeters squared. And now lastly, for total area, again, I could do, remember it's 2 times the base area plus the lateral area. So 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r height, 2 pi r squared, 5 squared, 2 pi, 5, 7. Now, keep in mind, I already calculated all of these up above. So here, 2 pi times 25 gives me 50 pi. And over here, this was 70 pi. I'll add them. And my total area is 120 pi centimeters squared. Let's do a cone. So again, the base area, the shape on my base here for a cone is again a circle. So pi r squared. My radius, notice they gave me a diameter. So I'm going to turn this into a radius by dividing it by 2. So pi times 7 squared gives me 49 pi meters squared. My lateral area for a cone is pi times the radius times the slant height. So pi times 7 times my slant height, which is 12, giving me 84 pi meters squared. And now lastly, total area, area of the base, which is a circle, times that lateral area. So pi times 7 squared plus pi times 7 times 12, 49 pi plus 84 pi gives me 133 pi meters squared. Now, because we're doing this on Canvas, and you're doing it from home, the test and the quiz, or the test for this, will be open notes. So you might want to continue adding to your formula list for the test. Let's do one more. I know there's not a slide here, but I want to show you how maybe you might not be given a radius or a slant height. You might be actually given the actual height. So let's just modify this. This would be a little variation of maybe different given. So let's draw a cone again. And let's say I told you that the diameter was 6 and the height of my cone, not the slant height, is equal to 4. Now, I can turn my diameter into a radius by dividing it by 2. And notice right in here, I formed a right triangle. And if you remember your triples, it's easy to figure out my slant height here. My slant height is 5. But let's say you didn't remember your triples. You could always do 3 squared plus 4 squared equals that slant height squared. Add them after you square them, and then square root it, and your slant height is 5. This is where it'll pay off if you remember your triples. But if it happens to not be a triple, then again, you'd still have to resort to Pythagorean theorem. So if you recall some common triples are the 3, 4, 5 triangle. If you scale it up, the 6, 8, 10. We also saw quite often the 8, 15, 17, and also the 5, 12, 13. And again, there's more, but these are some of the common ones that you may end up seeing. But again, if it's not a triple or you're not memorizing them, remember just to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to turn in these completed notes to Canvas, and you're also going to complete the homework assignment for the surface area of cones and cylinders. That's it.